This is News at 8.
This is the Primetime News Bulletin here on Joy News on Multi TV. In this edition, electricity consumers to be without power for 12 hours every 2 days. A new power rationing timetable published by Electricity Company of Ghana. All 4 lanes of Accra-Tema motorway to be open to traffic by next week as engineers slash time span for completion of repair works. Konfanochi Teaching Hospital orderly charged in missing baby saga speaks out about his involvement in the matter. Accra Mayor appeals for more central government funding to rid the city of filth. And Northern Region New Patriotic Party executives assure party delegates and others attending impending National Congress in Tamale the city is safe. In sports, government has defended the budget for the Black Stars' participation in the World Cup. There's also business, showbiz, and international news. Stay tuned.
News at 8 with Israel Lai.
First story, the Electricity Company of Ghana has released its latest power rationing schedule applicable for the next 2 weeks. According to the program, consumers will be without electricity for 12 hours every 2 days. Electricity consumers in all but 4 regions will be affected. Osei has more.
The ECG explains the country is currently shedding 160 megawatts of electricity during the day and 350 megawatts at night when most consumers require power. Customers, the PRO says, should be guided accordingly.
What we have done so far in average terms, let's say when you go off 12 hours, you have power 48 hours, 2 days. 2 days. So that's how it's going to run.
Okay.
There's a slight variation in some regions because of the load they are managing. Some regions are smaller regions. For example, in Volta region, they have a very small, their load is very small. Therefore, when they go off for 12 hours, they will have power supply for about 72 hours. In Accra, when you go off for 12 hours, we give you supply for 48 hours. You understand? So it's not even. It depends. Yes, it depends on the region you are in.
The schedule, he says, has been designed to ensure vital installations such as major hospitals and industrial zones enjoy a reprieve.
The guide is for 2 weeks. This particular load shedding guide that we have published is for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that the load shedding
will end. No. It does not mean that the load shed is going to end in 2 weeks' time. We are saying that since it's temporal, and then we expect the experts in the generation industry to give us an update of what is going on in the system.
Okay.
We've decided to give you a temporal load shedding guide for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we'll do a review. Okay. And then we'll form customers accordingly.
Okay. Some members of the public Joy News spoke to, however, appear unimpressed.
Okay, even with the timetable, I don't think it's the best because we've been told to pay for realistic prices for better services. We've been paying anytime you pay, the service in fact deteriorate instead of making progress. You see, so with the timetable, I still see it to be anything like thing of the past. They will make the timetable trying to rectify the situation, but with time, the thing will still prolong.
We use PC. All the gadget that we use is about electricity, but because of this power shortage or something, like we are not able to study. We'll go to class. We'll just be there.
If they are doing the light like that, it's not good. It won't help us. So they have to try and then on the lights, because last year the president promised us that the light will be on this year, surely, but we now came into 2014, but still the light is still going off and on.
Only the 3 regions in the north of the country and Brong Ahafo region have been left out of the schedule. Though the ECG is unable to say how long the rationing will continue, the public affairs manager of the Volta River Authority has indicated there should be a considerable easing of the current crisis before the Easter festivities. Osei, Joy News.
All 4 lanes of the Accra-Tema motorway should be open to traffic before next week, well ahead of the 5 weeks previously communicated. Officials of the Ghana Highways Authority announced this when President Mahama Wednesday visited the bridge on the motorway, which got damaged about 2 weeks ago. The gaping hole that appeared in the road reduced the double lane taking motorists to Tema to a single lane, causing massive traffic congestion in the process. Gifty Andopia was with the President.
Recognizes the inconvenience users of the motorway are suffering as a result of the damage to the bridge on the Tema outbound route. We gathered the road engineers and other engineers in the mining industry, and they've come to look at it, and they devised a solution that would repair the bridge within a week. And so we're craving the indulgence of motorists, to just bear with us a little while a quick fix is done to put the bridge back in use. But in the meantime, I've asked them to open 1 lane of the road so that it can reduce the congestion that we're seeing.
Heavy vehicular traffic has been a daily occurrence since part of the bridge on the motorway collapsed a week ago. Diversions created around the damaged area have turned parts of both sides of the motorway into single lanes, resulting in more traffic congestion. President Mahama's visit was to gain first-hand information on how quickly traffic can be eased. Engineers there told him they have collaborated with their counterparts from the mines to devise a much quicker solution than previously thought. CEO of the Ghana Highways Authority, Michael Abbey, explained further.
We had already broken this one.
Yeah.
We will stop where we are. We rather plate some metal to have the same level for both lanes, and then we'll put the metal plate across.
Okay.
And we can easily open the bridge to traffic, which is a faster solution than what we originally envisaged.
Okay.
We'll rather bring about 25 millimeter thick steel plate across the entire bridge quickly, so that we wouldn't waste much time. Meanwhile, whilst we are working on this, we will open this side to traffic. We will not brake, so that we will ease the Accra-bound traffic.
So you open the Accra-bound?
Yes.
While you fix
it? We will fix this one to bring it to the same level as the concrete layer here. Then we'll put a steel plate across the entire bridge, and then we will let the normal traffic flow over the 2 lanes, and it will hold.
President Mahama said he will hold them up to the timeline they've given.
You've seen the inconvenience to motorists. I mean, the tailback is almost from the toll booth. Yeah, and I mean, as the major artery that connects Tema and Accra, and especially with the port, yeah, the inconvenience is terrible. And so I'll hold you to your word. Let's say about 4 days.
Maybe 1 week. We'll finish
1 week.
We'll finish everything.
Within a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I'll hold you to that. I'll come and inspect again and make sure that it's ready.
Yeah.
He urged them to start devising alternative routes in anticipation of an earlier announced total reconstruction of the motorway into 6 lanes.
Eventually, the intention is to redo the whole motorway into a major 6-lane, 3-lane. Yeah. So we need to start preparing. When work starts on the motorway, what will be the alternate routes, the diversions and all that, and so we should start thinking forward before.
Yeah, together with urban routes, we will develop the side roads so that we'll be able to take traffic off the motorway when we are doing the major rehabilitation.
After consulting with the engineers, he supervised opening of the undamaged side of the route to improve the flow of traffic there. Traffic on this side of the road has just been opened. The engineers on site have been telling him that in 1 week, this route should be open for normalcy, although work will be ongoing. So for now, the president is calling on motorists to be patient with the engineers as they work to ease the problem completely. For Joy News, Gifty Andopia, Accra.
The case of the orderly charged with his involvement in the missing baby saga at the Komfo Teaching Hospital has been adjourned at the Kumasi Circuit Court. 57-year-old Baba Abire, who will reappear in court on the 9th of April this year, has however told newsmen he knows nothing about the disappearance of the babies. Mahmoud Muaben Ruding sent in this report.
The case was adjourned because the prosecutor wasn't in court on Wednesday. It emerged that the docket had been sent to the Attorney General for advice, but 57-year-old Baba Abiri, who has worked at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital for over 30 years, used the opportunity to break his silence over his involvement in the matter. The father of four explained how he got caught up in the saga 4 days after he was asked to cover for another orderly who was about to go on pension. Abiri said he was originally assigned to the obstetrics and gynecology department of the hospital.
Abortion. And fresh no be a motor than a chino for Hana Canyano Nation Colao. At the medium ball of con, remedy, abortion at a costume, and then coffee my ball lego. Now, my name say, Mimi Jim, my bow, Miss Mokosra, a best month of a cop. Or no, no crime, I see my papa, and I made a call, and I could do her, number in the glass, and my hormone. Nay, say, Baba, you and I will hand away, and Miss Adia, but say box will be she, and Miss Mafako, see baby, a simple land. What's oh, Cajon Cofabra, Cajon Cofabra and Macoya, me who I don't know. If you change, I just I am, or no one I couldn't say, at the Mabahasi.
Baba Abiri now wants to go back to work but maintains he has no knowledge of the whereabouts of the bodies.
And Obian and Semen to me for Colano. Yet an Acolan Bayera, and I'm clear. I am a Juman. Mr. Allah Kramay more than to me. I'm boarding our moment, Passman Kojima.
Meanwhile, the Health Service Workers Union of Trade Union Congress in the region has secured the services of a legal practitioner to seek justice for Abiri. The union is also providing financial assistance so he can cater for his family whilst on interdiction.
That mentioned the issue took, and some of the initial statement that was made by our brother, I think management was obliged to take the steps that they took. But now that the issue is being prosecuted by the state and versus our member, we are just making sure and helping him in that direction to make sure that he comes out vindicated.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report.
Elsewhere, junior nurses and midwives in the Volta region have given government up to the end of March to pay their salaries. They say have not been forthcoming for the past 11 to 18 months. The junior nurses and midwives for justice at a news conference said life had become unbearable as they are having to get by on their meager allowances. We'll bring you that story a little later. But elsewhere, inadequate office space for managers of the Chifo Hemang Loa Dentra Health Insurance Authority is hampering the smooth running of the scheme. Officials have to perform their normal day-to-day registration outside the office premises due to the huge number of people who trooping to either renew or register with the scheme.
The scheme was started about 11 years ago and serves over 1,500 communities with a population of 140,000. A visit to the area on one of the market days saw long queues of potential beneficiaries waiting for their turn outside the premises of the district assembly. Public Relations Officer of the scheme, Edward Baden-Agri, tells Joy News government would have to come to their aid sooner to establish a spacious office so they can serve the many people who come in for one service or the other.
You normally come and see people queuing because the space is not accommodations enough. So that's the major problem here. And then people find it difficult coming here unless it is market days. So they come here only market day. That's why you see them on market days. There are too many here. So we think that the other side of the story too is we're dealing with networking. Sometimes there'll be downtime. This is also another challenge. So they come and then we can't work with, or we can't give them, we can't feed them, or we can't satisfy them because the network is not working. We have to tell them to go back and they are not satisfied.
The claims officer of the scheme in the district, Elijah Sam Danso, also touched on the delay in reimbursement, underscoring the fact that most of the facilities complain of delay in payment of claims.
And another issue with the facilities is we have most of the facilities not submitting their bills on time. Most of them you see, they will not submit the bills on time, so we cannot have enough time to work on those claims. That's one of our major challenges. And in effect, it will contribute to the delay in payment of those claims.
He expressed hope that the authority would give it the needed attention. Georgina Pierce reports from the Central Region.
The Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, barima.asare, has cautioned especially chiefs in the Volta region to beware of land speculators who acquire large tracts masquerading as investors. She warns the practice could spark conflicts in the future.
Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of the Volta Regional Lands Commission in Ho, the Deputy Minister also stated the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has put in place efforts to ensure all land-related conflicts are resolved. She implored all chiefs to ensure their contracts with investors bring development to their communities. She, however, called on the newly inaugurated Volta Regional Lands Commission to provide support to the judicial service in arbitrating land cases before the court. The Deputy Volta Regional Minister, Francis Ganyaglo, attributed most of the land disputes to lack of coordinated systems at the Lands Registry, which needed to be looked at. He indicated it is essential for traditional authorities to manage public lands properly, since about 80% of Ghana's land is legally held under customary law. The 33-member commission was constituted by representatives from all municipal and district assemblies and traditional councils across the region. Meanwhile, there are fears interested land buyers may rush into the region due to the ongoing search for crude oil in the region.
Still to come in the bulletin, Sports Minister Osei defended the Black Stars budget for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Sports Minister Osei defended the Black Stars budget for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. At a news briefing in Accra, the minister denied media reports suggesting government had allocated 30,000 Ghana cedis as feeding fee for the team, noting only 10,000 Ghana cedis had been allocated for the said purpose, adding it was imperative the players be fed local dishes during the tournament.
Responding to questions from the media, the government's budget for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil was too expensive. Sports Minister Elvis Efriyankra said the budget was prepared with each team's members' role in mind.
When a team goes to camp, people play various roles. There are people who you see them outwardly and they have big names and titles. But there are people who are also very ordinary. I can tell you, if you watch the team's matches, before every match, after every match, in the night before they sleep, they play drums. Somebody motivates them, psychs them up. That person is as important as the player and the coach. Let's not disrespect them. Let's not talk about them as if they don't matter. They really matter. Talk to the players. They will tell you the effect and impact of those people on the team.
He also defended the team's feeding budget.
Our players, because most of them ply their trade outside, when we get to camp, they want to eat Ghanaian food. So we travel with a chef and a team, and they prepare local food for them. Now, most of the places you cannot get local food, so we make provision for that. And I think the figure is what? 10,000? 10,000. Mind you, we are going to be in Holland. Okay? We have, how many weeks is the training tour? 3 weeks? 2? The team will be away for over 2 months. 60 days. 60 days. So you look at the whole team, they'll eat in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Please, let's not trivialize some of these issues and make mockery of ourselves and the country. It's not.
But the sports minister could not explain how the 40 million Ghana cedis allocated to the Black Stars for placing 7th in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa was spent.
There was a cacophony of noise, you know, and so the minister just said, look, I just want to let's give this money to government and let me wash my hands. True or false? You were there. It's true. It's not, it's true. Okay? So that money is gone. When money goes to the consolidated fund, those of you who did accounting, that accounting year is gone. So you may talk about it, feel free as a Democrat, but it won't come back. So really.
On JIDA, he noted the committee set up to investigate and review the operations of the agency had completed its work and has submitted its recommendations to government. The minister also announced that the National Youth Bill, which is expected to give legal backing to assist the country's youth development efforts, will be passed into law by the close of the year. The bill is currently with Cabinet for deliberations.
The Accra Mayor is seeking the assistance of the Local Government Committee of Parliament to secure more funds to address the city's environmental challenges. Alfred van der Poy told members of the Select Committee who were on a working visit to the Assembly this will go a long way to address the sanitation challenges.
The Mayor, in his address to the committee, indicated the budgetary allocation to the Assembly is not enough to support the agenda. He also said the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is understaffed and pleaded with the committee to assist in providing a legislation to employ more staff.
AMA, as the capital city, must be given some consideration because we know that we are the capital city and we believe that if you put your voice in it and we are giving consideration to give us enough staff to be able to meet the challenges of the time, once we are waiting for a law that can be.
Chairman of the committee, Dominic Azuma, who commended the efforts of the Assembly, assured the Mayor of the committee's support.
We were here close to a year and a half ago and were briefed by the Chief Executive of efforts being handled or being put online to address this critical concern. That was after we had visited a number of landfills. And I'm so impressed to have seen what action has been taken immediately to transform the place from a landfill to that kind of land now used for other purposes. I think that we must commend you highly for this wonderful show of commitment.
The Mayor outlined some of the challenges he is facing in his efforts to relocate swamp dwellers at Old Fadama.
Some day ago, I received a letter from the British Parliament. With members wanting to know from me why I was talking about the removal of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I also received a letter threatening me from Europe that signatures have been taken. And if we continue to want to remove Sodom and Gomorrah, we'll have to go to The Hague to answer questions.
They were taken to some of the facilities put in place to address the sanitation challenges in the city. Back in the House, the Minister of Water Resources, Works and Housing appeared before the House to answer some questions from members.
Elsewhere, a fact-finding committee set up by the whole Municipal Assembly has indicted the Municipal Chief Executive, Fafa Edinyira, of causing financial loss to the Assembly and the State. The MC is said to have taken funds from the Assembly's coffers to refurbish her office and official residence without following due process. This was revealed at an emergency Assembly meeting in Ho, which was not attended by the embattled MC.
The whole Municipal Assembly is said to have lost close to 200,000 Ghana cedis due to the refurbishment exercise undertaken by the Municipal Chief Executive. The MC is believed to have acted together with the Municipal Coordinating Director and the Municipal Works Engineer.
The total sum after the whole work was done, total 7,904 Ghana cedis. Curtains in the office were bought by the Municipal Chief Executive to replace the old ones. Renovation works at the Municipal Chief Executive's residence have not been budgeted for in the 2014 approved budget. The estimated cost of renovation only on the Municipal Chief Executive residence per the bill of quantity as prepared by the Municipal Works Engineer is 180,000, and this does not include furniture and other household items.
According to the committee, the refurbishment exercise amounted to financial loss because due process and the procurement law were not followed. This was the state of the MCE's residence when Joy News visited the premises. The committee has meanwhile recommended that the MC's residence be restored to its former state at no cost to the Assembly, and has also asked the works engineer to be replaced with a more competent person. The committee has also called on the presidency and the local government ministry to apply the necessary sanctions on the whole municipal chief executive.
Deputy Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Vincent Opong-Esamwa, says government is working diligently to make an additional 150 million gallons of water available by 2015. To this end, he says government is discussing a private-public partnership module with the Safe Water Network to develop efficient community water delivery systems across the country.
Communities across Ghana continue to battle with access to potable water. Ghana's capital, Accra, alone has a water deficit of 57 million gallons. Private organizations such as the Safe Water Network is helping bridge the water deficit by developing modules of safe potable water delivery in the various communities in Ghana. They have already put in place 15 systems to serve about 30 communities.
And we will be this year putting in another 8 to 10 systems serving an additional 15 or so communities. Our expenditures in Ghana are roughly $1.5 million a year. We're a not-for-profit organization. We focus about 40% of those expenditures on putting in new systems, demonstrating their viability and potential. The balance of the effort is really focused on testing different ways of introducing systems.
Although the systems have proven successful in communities they are run, they are working fervently on its sustainability.
We form a board just like any company, and then we have the management team, we put the operators all from the same community, and then we provide them with the guidance. We open a bank account for them, they read the meters, we check the revenues. Whatever revenues they collect has to be reconciled with the water that is produced, and it goes to the bank account. And we keep that money for them. They have control over the money. We use the same money to pay for the operators and to pay electricity bills and other expenses. And at the end of the month, they have to prepare a financial statement. We know that the expertise to do these things might not be at the village level, so we also give them training until such a time that we feel that they are comfortable to take over the systems, and then we'll pull back.
The Safe Water Network is meanwhile in talks with government to develop a PPP module aimed at enhancing water delivery in the country. Deputy Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, while welcoming the Safe Water Network systems, explained that government will continue to engage the private sector to expand water production.
Now we have a lot of expansion work going on. If you go to Pong, there's expansion work going on. We have already done something at Weja, and then if you also look at the desalination plant at Teshi Nongwa, there are a lot of ongoing projects that is going to add up to about 150 million gallons by the end of 2015. By 2015, we are going to produce more in excess of demand in Greater Accra area alone. But most of this investment, it takes time for you to realize the benefits of it. But we are giving ourselves up to 2015, where we'll be able to, the production capacity, at least we will get to that level. What is left is the distribution. I will be able to distribute to all those who really need. And I think one area that we have to also take care seriously is the issue of tariff and the payments, how people cannot illegally tap from our pipelines, and how we can ensure that we are able to make a lot of income to sustain the process.
Vincent Opong-Esamwa urged contractors to secure permits and plan well when putting up buildings in order not to block waterways, as has been the case.
The Northern Region Chairman of the New Patriotic Party says party delegates and members planning to attend the National Congress in Tamale will have nothing to worry about as far as their security and safety is concerned. According to Daniel Bugli Nabu, enough measures have been put in place to ensure exactly that. He gave the assurance when party executives from the region paid a courtesy call on its 2012 flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo, at his residence in Accra.
And sought to address security concerns following recent disturbances in Tamale.
The preparation is complete. Security is in place. No problem at all. And even though there's no problem, but we will make sure police and army take security charge there. and we have no problem at all with the security. There is peace and total peace, and all the delegates should have faith and surety from us that no any problem, the delegate will come and end successfully.
Meanwhile, other regional party executives who also called on Nana Addo have assured him of the unflinching commitment and support should he decide to contest for the 2016 elections.
Yeah, we came just to re-emphasize the call on the ground that the youth of Greater Accra, we have resolved to prosecute a well-organized campaign so that when he becomes our party leader, we can work assiduously, or to remind him of the need to give a positive response tomorrow when he makes his declaration tomorrow.
The people of Upper West, I mean the MPP party in Upper West, have mandated us to plead with the man to affirm his acceptability of running the presidential race again.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on the other hand, urged the executives to engage their members in eliminating internal squabbling that could undermine the party's chances in the 2016 elections. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
We're returning to our earlier story. Junior nurses and midwives in the Volta region have given government up to the end of March to pay their salaries they say have not been forthcoming for the past 11 to 18 months. The junior nurses and midwives for justice at a news conference said life had become unbearable as they're having to get by on their meager allowances.
Addressing a press conference in Ho, the spokesperson for the group, Emmanuel Tojo, described the situation as very frustrating. According to him, community health nurses posted to various communities in the region over the past year have been taking off their allowances for 4 months now. He pointed out that their attention was drawn to a recent directive by the finance minister backdating appointments, promotions and reactivation dates of junior nurses and midwives. But the directive, according to Emmanuel, will negatively affect the payment of their salaries, which are already in arrears. While petitioning stakeholders to intervene on their behalf, the junior nurses and midwives for justice say they will advise themselves if they do not get a clear response to their concerns by March 31, 2014.
In the next 24 hours, we shall petition our employers, the Director of Ghana Health Service, the leader of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association of Trade Union Congress. And to note, a petition has already been served the Honorable Minister of Health and copied to the GRNA in the past week. We require a clear response and intervention to our predicaments latest by 31st March 2014, or we affected people shall advise ourselves.
Commando's report for Joy News.
Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs Minister Henry Seydou Dana has appealed to chiefs in the country to take steps as soon as practicable to fill vacant skins in their paramountcies. Interacting with chiefs from the Tumu and Walembele traditional areas at Tumu, he stated that vacant skins are like women without husbands and can lead to turmoil and confusion. Rafik Salam reports from Tumu, the Upper West region.
The meeting, which was organized at the behest of the Minister of Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Henry Seydou Dana, is the first since he assumed office. The purpose is to personally interact with the chiefs, known locally as Kuros, on their challenges and how best they could be resolved. According to him, the chieftaincy institution being practiced today is one that is within a democracy, unlike the ones practiced by their forebears, where the chief's reign was supreme. He advised the chiefs to move along with time in order to be relevant in society. He expressed joy at steps being taken by the Tumu Traditional Council to fill vacant skins and called on others to do same.
While commending you for this bold step, let me take opportunity to call on other chiefs in the Upper West region and elsewhere that paramount chiefs should take steps to inscreen or install chiefs as soon as it's practicable. Vacant skins or stools are like women without husbands and can lead to turmoil and confusion. So it is commendable that we find these sitting chiefs.
On the issue of the line of succession, Dr. Seydou Dana stated that the ministry is working at it and will soon send officials round for their input and appealed to them to cooperate with them for a successful exercise.
Answers to questions in chieftaincy today, we will be creating a big problem for the future chiefs to come. Let us act now. Let us give the correct answers, and then we'll be helping the institution for the future ones who will come to be chiefs. This is a nature, and I believe it has gone down well. The other issue I would like to touch on is projects. Apart from the lines of succession project, Tumu Traditional Council has not had a chance to benefit from any of the chieftain's projects. I therefore have a mind to make sure that one chieftain's project comes here, either the ascertainment or the elimination of harmful customer practices.
Rafiq Salam's report from Tumu in the Upper West region.
Time now to get you abreast with business news. My name is Abigail Adumakwinchi. Now, Chief Economist at the African Development Bank, Professor Metholi Nkube, has expressed confidence in government's measures aimed at addressing the country's current economic challenges. He says he's hopeful the measures will yield the desired results, although a lot more international support is needed. Gifty Andapia reports.
The African Development Bank economist called on Vice President Kwesi Arthur at the Flagstaff House to discuss AFDB's analysis of Ghana's situation. Vice President Arthur described the timing of his visit as very important for, quote, free discussions, unquote, of Ghana's economic situation. He noted growth has not been as expected, but said fiscal policies have been targeted at turning the situation around.
We discussed a number of options and specific measures to consolidate the fiscal position. You know that we've had significant fiscal imbalances. We are determined that this year we have to correct them so that in 2015 and 2016 the economy will get back on the growth path. The growth exchange rate has been under pressure. The central bank has taken some actions that have slowed down the rate of depreciation. We hope that over time they'll be able to reverse the trend.
Professor Nkube said the AFDB intends to focus now on energy and education as its contribution to helping Ghana out.
We understand what they are, the macroeconomic imbalances, but we also believe that the government is determined to make sure that these challenges are overcome. We have full confidence that they will be overcome. But of course, Ghana can't do it alone. It does require support from partners, global partners such as ourselves, African partners such as ourselves. But we'd like to do more in the energy sector, in the ports, and the roads, and we've got other projects coming up in the higher education sector because skills development is very important. There's never enough money from any government to invest in roads and in infrastructure. So the private sector is a very important partner.
The African Development Bank was instituted in 1964 to promote economic development on the African continent. Its focus on Ghana has been infrastructural development. Joy News, Flagstaff House.
Well, there is some good news for bank consumers as banks and all other financial institutions will from July this year accept the national identity cards for transactions. Many commercial banks currently do not accept the Ghana cards issued by the National Identification Authority. This is because they do not have an online program to verify the true identity of the card holders. But Public Affairs Director at the authority, Bertha Jable, says banks would soon be giving the verification program to address this this problem. Meanwhile, the mobile phone subscribers must be prepared to re-register their SIM cards again. The National Identification Authority now says it is hoping to complete issuance of the national ID cards by the end of the year. This should aid the re-registration of SIM cards using only the national ID, as disclosed by the Communications Minister, who cited alleged fraud with the initial registration. To some news on cocoa, the producer price for cocoa is yet to be reviewed. This, the head of public affairs at the Ghana Cocoa Board, Noah Amenya, explains is because the committee sitting on the review is yet to meet.
Set up by producer price review committees. And so the committees will meet, and it includes farmers, it includes governments, the Cocoa Board, and our other stakeholders. So they have times that they meet, and when they meet, they will look at the stakes and be able to adjust or retain the producer price that is currently running. So we'll not be able to say that farmers should expect an increase in producer price. No. We are running 33, 34 weeks, and we are 18 weeks. So we are not yet ready to review, and they need to also look at the market conditions and all other conditions before they meet. So they will soon meet midterm to look at what has happened, and then we'll go on.
He was, however, optimistic the cocoa farmers will be paid their bonuses by end of the year.
We have set an FOB price, and the price on the international market are proving better. We should also recognize the fact that we sell forward. So much of the benefit that we see today would only be accrued from the spot that is done alongside the forward sales. And much more of the gains will be seen next year. But then we are sure that the averages will change to appreciate. And so at the end of this year, that is the cocoa year, we will be able to now come together and look at what gains is there and how to share that as bonus.
He responded favorably to President Mahama's call for Cocoa Board to use locally manufactured jute sacks in the bagging of the cocoa, but said it will require some support.
Cocoa Board is looking at the issue. Interest should come from people who want to do that business. They should send in a proposal, a business plan. Cocoa Board must convince itself that it is laudable, a plan, and that it fits into our operations before the go-ahead is given. Because the cocoa will not be able to wait for jute bags. The jute bags should rather wait for cocoa. So that should be done, and then we can move forward. So there are indications, there are interests, people are coming with interest, and even beyond, before the statement was made by the president, people have shown interest from time to time.
And that'll be all for business. My name is Abigail Adumakwenchi. Don't forget to check my jaw online for more business news. Sports is up next.
Time for the latest in the world of sports. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Elvis Afriyankra, has issued a directive to the Chief Director of his ministry to ban the formation of new supporters unions who seek to chair Ghana's national teams during competitions. The move by the government has enraged many of these groups, but the Sports Minister says the government will not change its mind on the stance.
Supporters unions are not happy. Unfortunately, I don't have too much good news. Government is not going to spend 1 cedi on supporters union for this World Cup. So let me once again use this platform. This year, government will not spend any money on supporters union. You are also right. We have, in fact, over the past so many months or so, I had to get the chief director to issue an edict to stop new supporters union being registered, because almost every day we're getting new supporters union being registered, so we've stopped them. We recognize.
All right, so how are the spoke to a number of them, and that's what they have to say.
Oh, because of this.
The next one will be very short, so you can look at.
It is normal because we're also in Ghana and we know the economic situation in Ghana. So I don't think it is all that bad for the government to say that there's no money. It is the fact on the ground is there money that the government is saying that it's not going to take supporters. So if you're a supporters union, you have to plan ahead. The corporate bodies are there. The ministry are there to aid us to go to the corporate bodies to get support to go to Brazil.
But I hope what he say, it sound normal. But I hope it will change. But by and large, I hope they will change what people are wanted.
All right, so they might not know where the money is going to come from, but they've already begun rehearsing the dance for the World Cup. All right, so very exciting. We'll find out what happens when we get to Brazil. Now, though, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. And yesterday, if I promise you drama, there's exactly drama ongoing now. Manchester United, of all teams, actually leading by 2-0. Let's quickly have a look at what's happening. First of all, let's look at the game between Borussia Dortmund and Zenit St. Petersburg. In this particular game, you can say it's a dead rubber because Borussia Dortmund won the first leg by 4-2. Zenit are finding the way back. Hal got a goal for them, but that was after Kelly got a goal as well for Borussia Dortmund. So the scoreline is 1-0. Borussia Dortmund are still leading in this one. Now let's look at where all the drama is happening right now. It's 1-0 between Borussia Dortmund and Zenit St. Petersburg, of course. Let's talk about this other game between Manchester United and Olympiacos because they're leading by 2-0. The first leg was 2-0 against Manchester United, so it's 2-2 right now. Van Persie getting all the 2 goals for them. I have to say, by this result, Manchester United haven't qualified yet to the quarterfinal. They need to score another goal and ensure that Olympiacos do not get a goal in this one. Very interesting. We'll see how all of this thing goes. But it's good news for Manchester United, at least till this point. That'll be all for sports. My name is George Adi Jr. Israel joined with some more. Have a good night.
Now, what would you do if you found out after 30 plus years that the man who raised you as a child was not your biological father? Well, American actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry discovered that recently and is finally speaking about it.
Showbiz was brought to you by Airtel Money. It's simple, secure, instant.
Programming note before I wrap up the bulletin. Last month, the Bank of Ghana directed that all money transactions in the country should be conducted in the Ghana cedi. It also directed all banks not to grant a foreign currency denominated loan or foreign currency linked facility to a customer who was not a foreign exchange earner. This directive is intended to salvage the dwindling fortunes of the cedi against the dollar. Do you think this initiative will yield positive results for the economy? Something Awengobet Asaki, Executive Secretary of the Ghana Importers and Exporters Association, speaks to Nana Nsakwao on PM Express tonight at 9 p.m. That's after the bulletin. On phone will be the President of the Ghana Hoteliers Association, Herbert Quay, and Dr. Robert Osei, Senior Research Fellow at ASA. Stay tuned and share your thoughts on the topic. Now, before we go, recap of our top stories. Electricity consumers are to be without power for 12 hours every 2 days. A new power rationing timetable published by the Electricity Company of Ghana. All 4 lanes of the Accra-Tema motorway are to be open to traffic by next week as engineers slash the time span for completion of the repair works. Konfanochi Teaching Hospital orderly charged in missing baby saga is speaking out about his involvement in the matter. He says he's innocent. The Accra Mayor is appealing for more central government funding to rid the city of filth. And the Northern Region New Patriotic Party executives have assured party delegates and others attending the impending National Congress in Tamale the city is safe. That'll be all for the bulletin. My name is Israel. Have a good evening.